In three, two, one, we're all ready. What's up, Brennan?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you for coming on the couch surfing.
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing couch surfing to my couch. It's pretty nice.
There it is.
I'm excited.
So excited to do a podcast with you. Just thought you were a very interesting person. It's really nice to get a take on different people in their lives, right?
Yeah.
And you're very intriguing. Your whole life story. So, I just want to kind of start from the beginning. Where'd you grow up?
Well, I was born in Orange County, the city of Orange. And then my parents kind of split up when I was a little young at like 2 years old. And then my mom met my stepdad when I was 2 years old, I guess, a little later than that. Mm-hmm. And kind of just raised by him, my entire life, him and my mom. Grew up in a Hispanic family and, Hispanic roots pretty much. It's a little different, being white, growing up in a Hispanic family.
Oh, for sure.
It was a little tough.
Definitely fucking outcast,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like growing up in the, Hispanic neighborhoods, going to, mainly Hispanic schools, being one of the only white kids. I stood out, Mm-hmm. Got picked on a little bit until like high school, and then it kind of faded away. And everybody started kind of liking me a little bit, It was cool. I enjoyed it.
Were you like one of the Hispanic kids who you were trying not trying to fit in, but you had to fit in? You learned Spanish on the way.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything?
Especially with being in a big family. I have a big family. I have 10 brothers and sisters.
Wow,
It's wasn't easy, So yeah, definitely trying to fit in with kids and that weren't white. Mm-hmm. Having to learn Spanish. And I did pick up a lot of Spanish at home. It wasn't something that I just kind of learned myself. It's just stuff picking up at home, being raised in a Hispanic family.
So how was the household? It was like tortillas, food.
Rice and beans. My mom,
stuff.
My mom pretty much picked up on the Hispanic culture.
Adopted it.
Really, really well. Her cooking is amazing.
And you said 10 brothers and sisters.
10 brothers and sisters. I have 6 sisters and five.
Did you guys all
brothers.
live in the same house?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we had a.
It's a clan.
It was big. We always had some fairly decent sized houses. Not the nicest houses, but they were fairly decent sized. I grew up in La Puente. If anybody knows where that's at, it's not a very wealthy neighborhood or city.
So being in a ginormous household, were you the middle?
I'm smack dab in the middle of the brothers and sisters.
So you're 5 and 6?
Yes, I think I'm 6. I think,
okay.
yes. One of my stepsisters. So it's step, half, and full siblings. I have one full sister from my mom and my dad, and then my mom and my stepdad had 4 kids, and then my stepdad had 5 kids with his ex-wife. So the combined family, makes 11 of us. I'm smack dab in the middle. One of my sisters is like 8 months older than me. We're hovering around the same age. So
wow, awesome. Working at the shop with you, you told me a couple stories about like growing up and stuff like that. And I think one of the ones that stood out the most is the time where you were actually caught out on a boat.
Oh, yeah, man. That was an interesting story. That was really crazy story, and I have a lot of vivid memories of that. I was young.
Would you care to elaborate on?
Yeah. So this happened in '94. It was Memorial Day or whatever one is in September. I think it's Memorial Day. It might be Labor Day. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we went out fishing with the family. Family friends, and. We're on a fairly decent-sized boat, It wasn't anything too small. It was enough to fit all of us on there. There was a lot of us on there. There was like 20 people on there. 11 or 12 kids, and then like 6 or 7 adults or something like that. I can't remember the exact total of people, but a lot of kids, Because I'm kind of pointing out the weight factor and the amount of people that were there, and pointing out that a lot of them were kids, because that kind of explains a lot later, in this story.
Okay.
So there's a lot of kids, and we're out having a good day. We went out early in the day, maybe 12, noon. Mm-hmm. And we're out fishing, or we're out just having fun, and then we start going a little further out in the ocean. We're about 2 miles out, and we anchor down, and we're just anchored down fishing for hours and hours. The adults were catching some fish, some barracuda and shit. And then about 6:30, 7 o'clock rolls around, and we're getting ready to kind of pack up and leave.
Uh-huh.
And my stepdad and his friend were up at the top. It was like a little, this where you drive the boat. I don't know, like the names of
Captain.
parts. Yeah. I don't know the names of parts
that's all.
of the boat, but they were at the top where you steer and drive the boat. Everybody was down in the bottom. There was a cabin, there was a deck and all that.
So were you guys like out fishing or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
were originally it was just to go out, and just have some fun for the weekend,
It's like a deep
for the
sea
yeah.
Okay. Did you catch anything?
Yeah, they caught a bunch of barracuda, and
Shit.
that's the only one I remember because of the name of the fish, and then how they just looked really crazy, at 7 years old, looking at a barracuda,
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was that the
crazy
first time
looking
you've
fish.
seen like a huge fish shoot like that?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was a fun day, man. It was a really fun day, there were birds chasing us, not like actually chasing us, like we were handing them food, and so the birds were chasing us on the boat, and they were kind of taking food from our hands, It was cool.
Yeah,
It was a fun day, man. It was a really fun day, It was until about 7 o'clock,
You said 7 p.m.?
Yeah, it was about 7 p.m. Yeah, so we were getting ready to pack up and leave, and I'm not 100% sure exactly. I didn't see it coming. I just heard the screaming and shit.
Yeah.
And the panic, basically. And as a kid, you're not looking to find out what everybody's panicking about. You're just kind of panicking too. So, in that panic, I guess Catalina. I don't know if I can name drop on here. You could probably edit
drop.
it out.
But
Catalina Express. So Catalina Express was involved in this accident. So basically,
Involved how? Like the boat that you guys were on?
no,
or?
the boat that caused the accident.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I don't know if they were on autopilot or not. We were anchored, so this boat, the Express, the cruise liner, passes by us. I don't know if the captain was on autopilot or whatnot.
Okay.
They didn't hit us, but they got close enough that the wake of their boat kind of overlapped and covered our engine, and we started taking on water. And
shit.
like I said, we're about 2 miles out. All we can see is, very, very tiny amount of the shoreline, and so we start taking on water. My stepdad and my his friend jumped down off of the top, and they're trying to scoop buckets of water out of the boat. Not happening. I'm talking 3 or 4 seconds later, from them jumping down, all of the kids, everybody else running into the cabin to try to disperse the weight to the other side to maybe even it out.
Okay.
That did not happen. That water came about so fast, man. That shit was like in 2 seconds we were upright, and then the next thing I know.
So what were your feelings during all this? Like
I was just
could
panicking.
imagine.
I saw the water coming in, and then all I was told was run into the cabin, and I ran into the cabin, and the next thing I know, we were flipped upside down.
Oh,
Luckily, we
shit.
didn't sink. I was flipped upside down.
So you had to like go under the like when you flipped over, right? You had to go all the way under the boat and then come back on top.
Yeah, so it was weird. We were in the cabin, right? Under the water, the water didn't fully engulf the cabin just yet. There was still a pocket of water in there, and that's what basically saved all of our lives, was that pocket of air in under the boat.
Okay.
We didn't sink, we capsized.
Oh,
If the boat would have sunk,
Who knows,
everybody,
man?
my whole family, everybody would have probably been dead.
And then so you waited. So how long did you guys were there? I mean, what happened?
We were there for about 4.5, 5 hours. Me personally, I don't know how I got out of the cabin.
Okay.
All I know is I drank a bunch of massive amounts of ocean water and gas because of the tank of gas. And then all of a sudden, I was outside of the boat. I felt something or somebody pull me. In between, there's a handrail of the boat and the boat. I apparently squeezed in between there. I don't know.
You were able to get it.
Yeah, I was able to get out.
7, so
I was 7. I was small. So
Smart,
maybe
man.
somebody,
Yeah.
maybe my stepdad's friend. Because when I did get out of there, I looked around and there was a couple of us or a couple of them around.
Nobody lost, right?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. My friend's 2-year-old brother passed away in the accident. He was up sleeping up on the top, and when the boat capsized, he had knocked his head on the dashboard, I guess it's called, and they ended up finding him floating under in the cabin a few hours after us. But yeah, man, we didn't get rescued till about almost
terrible.
midnight.
I'm sorry, man. That's
just
fucking
floating out in the ocean. 2 miles out in the ocean at 11:30.
Scared to death. You're fucking super young, man.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
cold as hell.
Yeah,
you
don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You said so. After that, you told me this. You told me that. Fucking ass. After that, you had told me that your stepdad actually swam.
Yeah.
How many miles?
It was like 3/4 of a mile.
Three quarters of a mile.
It was about 3/4 of a mile.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I guess I read because we were in LA Times, we were in the newspaper, we were on the news and all this because Catalina was involved. We went to court.
Yeah, of course, and I mean like a whole boat capsized. I couldn't imagine.
And so basically, what I found out about that was my stepdad was a varsity swimmer in school. So that kind of helped out. That kind of helped out. Yeah.
Came in effect. Right?
Yeah. So he swam, and we were floating. So this happened. We got capsized at about 7:00 p.m. or so, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And we were floating. I'm talking floating, drifting. I don't know how long, how far. Just out in the ocean, 2 miles. It could have been long. Further out. But it got to a point where it was just pitch black and there was nobody around us. All you can see is the reflection of the moon on the water and the little dots of lights on the shore from it was Long Beach, it's San Pedro. So you can see the little specks of lights on shore.
Weird as I was like, it's a kind of a beautiful scene, but at the same time, it's such a catastrophe that happened, right?
Yeah. And so it was crazy too because at first there was a lot of panic. And at a young age, you're not understanding the severity of what is going on at that point. In my head, and like I said, I remember it pretty vividly. There wasn't a lot of panic that I was gonna die in my head. It was more of like I was looking around at like I was actually enjoying the scenery with a little bit of panic because my mom. I was a big mama's boy when I was a little kid. And so my mom, not everybody fit on the bottom of the boat, when we were all sitting up there. So she took my sweater because it was already soaking wet. It was better for me to not be wearing a sweater. She took my sweater and she tied it around her waist to the boat, but she would end up just like letting go and drifting off a little bit and swimming back to the boat because it was hard for her to keep holding on to the boat, because she had to hold on.
Yeah.
And so there was that panic in me as a 7-year-old seeing my mom drift away from the boat,
like having to swim back.
10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, just seeing her drift away. That was really a lot of panic in my, at that.
But you said you enjoyed the scene, so it's like this like bittersweet moment. I mean, as fucked up as it is.
Because
right?
I mean, as a kid, you're not understanding the severity.
Of what's going on.
Obviously, it was bad. They were the parents that lost the kid. During this whole time,
they're fucking
panicking.
Yeah.
They're panicking, trying to find their kid. I don't know this. I don't know what's going on. They're not like discussing this. Everybody's on the boat and they're doing their thing.
And your parents are just like, sit there, don't fucking move.
Yeah.
Don't
pretty
fucking
much
go anywhere.
Pretty much.
And your dad swam all the way there. And so how long did it actually take for you guys to actually get rescued?
It was about 5 hours or so. We ended up getting rescued, or 4.5, 5 hours, something like that. We ended up getting rescued around 12 o'clock, midnight. And that was straight out of a movie, man. That was like really straight out of a movie. So my stepdad swam to this boat. Just think about it too. My stepdad, he's Hispanic. He's from Mexico. He's born in Mexico City. He had a mullet. He's like
80s guy.
Or
90s,
like, early 90s.
Yeah.
He's like, and so just imagine you're out fishing 2 miles out in the ocean.
Yeah.
You're not in a lake or anything. You're in the ocean.
Yeah, it's vast.
So just imagine you're out fishing at this late of time, and some guy just swims to your boat this far out in the ocean. So they didn't trust him at first. They threw him a little, I think they're called lifesavers, like the little candies. Threw him a lifesaver, and they radioed it in, and I'm talking maybe 10, 15 minutes later, man, it was like, this was really, like, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like the scene, it was literally straight out of a movie. You had 10 Coast Guard boats, 4 helicopters with their spotlights on. They shot like 2 or 3 flares in the sky, so it lit up basically the whole ocean. And you just see all of these helicopters and boats just rushing towards you. But I'm talking, it was literally like a movie.
That's fucking
but
crazy.
that feeling right there was like, over the hours, I didn't understand the severity, like I said, of the danger there. But over the hours, I was definitely getting tired of the situation. I was like, fuck this shit. You know, as a kid, obviously, you know, you're aware enough, you know, at 7 years old to be like, you know, fuck this shit. You know, I'm tired of this shit. I want to go home now.
Well,
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
I'm
yeah.
crying wanting to go home.
And your freedom's kind of like
taken
away because you can't go anywhere. You have to sit in one spot.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and you got people who are freaking out next to you.
The ocean kidnapped us, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Like we were
Basically,
kidnapped.
right?
I couldn't do shit, you know.
They're holding you for ransom.
You know, and you know, to this day, there's before that trip, this is just something side. You know, it's kind of funny that I've always laughed about the situation. I had just gotten a brand new fresh pair of Converse, some Chucks.
Fuck.
And so I lost one of them.
Huh?
I lost one of them, and there's one of them down in the ocean right now, off the 2 miles out in Long Beach.
They were trying to take something from you.
yeah. I got some little fishies in there.
But yeah, we're starting this podcast off with a bang because I didn't even say how I know you.
Yeah, man. So that's the start of my life story. You know, there might be some more interesting stuff. You know.
Well, let's get to like how I know you now. Me and Brandon actually work together. We actually work at a dispensary, Whedon / Well, we worked with together at Whedon first. It was bought out, transitioned. Now Ease has taken it over, and yeah, he actually became a lead there. I'm actually a bud tender. Was former inventory.
I'm former security.
Former security.
Yeah, I was working security there previously.
Just couldn't get away from the place, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, cannabis is my. You know, I feel like. I don't want to put connoisseur as the name of it, but I feel like, you know, I like it for a lot of reasons.
Definitely
and it's
a hobby, right?
not just to get high. You know, it was at one point before I started working at Whedon or Ease.
Uh-huh.
And then I see, you know, some customers that actually go in there and need it for help. It's a good feeling, man, helping them people. It really is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and that stigma that surrounds cannabis still, it's just kind of played out already.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
Come on, we need to get with the times now. I mean, this stuff helps people, and it's been proven time and time and again. And I just don't understand how like we can keep sitting here and just like denouncing it. Like, it's bad. But like, you know, like there are cancer patients who come in. There are people who have like intestinal problems, and arthritis and carpal tunnel are like the biggest ones. But yeah, who's like what kind of like changed your perspective on like it just being just a hobby to something that's like mainly uses medicine?
Working with it. You know, before I was just a consumer of it.
Uh-huh.
You know, I didn't know much aside from consuming it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was brought into my life as, you know, something to have fun with. I didn't get introduced to it as a medicine. I got introduced to it as a recreational drug, and so does unfortunately, I say about 90% of the people out there, it gets introduced to you as a recreational drug, and they don't really see it for its actual benefits.
Mm-hmm. And how many stories have you heard that's like, it kind of was like, wow, this stuff, like, they people need this. Like, it's not even like, oh, they're just doing it for fun. Like, they come in here because they have to.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few of them that I've run into, you know, at work, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and you pinpointed a lot of physical, you know, ailments that it treats, but it's a lot of mental ailments that it treats more so. I feel like depression and stress. Really helps. It really helps to kind of ease your mind on things. It's not a natural. It doesn't heal. Mm-hmm. It just helps you deal. You know, It's not a healer, it's a dealer, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
That's how it is, yeah. Because I tell people like all the time, like, this is, you know, it's not going to cure anything, but it'll definitely relieve the pain of whatever you're going through. And I mean, have you heard any like big stories where you're just like, wow, like this?
No,
like,
not necessarily any big stories. It hasn't been any big stories. It's just more so, you know, customers coming in, you know, and having their loved ones dealing with, you know, cancer or something like that, and they're just wanting to really help them for whatever time they have left. Whether, you know, it's light cancer, you know, stage 1, or I had a lady, I think a week and a half ago, I helped her out, and I don't know who it was to her, but this person was dealing with stage 3 cancer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know 100% about the severities of different stages, but stage 3 sounds pretty severe to me.
Yeah.
You
stage
know?
1 sounds bad. So
yeah,
I can only imagine.
And you know, she had some emotion to her tone and the way she carried herself that day. You know, like she really needed this person to be helped, and the thing that tripped me out is that she's over here in crutches, barely even able to walk, and she's trying to help somebody else with cannabis. You know, that shit really like I really wanted to help her.
Yeah,
I really
of course.
wanted to help her.
Yeah.
And it's things like that you know, you give them your recommendations, and then I haven't heard back from her yet. I really do hope I hear back from her and find out if that recommendation helped, because I feel like I did give her a pretty decent recommendation on that.
Well, that's all we can do, considering that we're basically like, I mean, I'm not comparing us to pharmacy people because they go to school for years and years, but we're definitely like the bridge, that knowledge bridge between like people coming in and grabbing a sativa for like their stressful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like, you know, I was actually doing a podcast with Lawrence. I think it was Tuesday. It was actually 2 days ago. Oh, today's Tuesday. Fuck.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Monday we did it, and he had a lot of interesting, a lot of insight on like how he feels about people who come in. You know, because he was in the medical field for fucking like 30 years, 40 years or something like that.
Okay.
And like it just shows that like he cared about people a lot, and this was something he really wanted to do. This was like he told me his life's dream was to be a bartender.
Okay.
Into like the department store, and he said that's why he gives his all every time that he's talking to people. You know, besides, you know, people coming in angry and stuff like that, he says that it's the good ones that come in for help or come in because they need it are actually what makes his day. And yeah, I mean, it's always fun. Like I like it too. I mean, I don't consider myself a connoisseur either, but I'll definitely fucking, you know, I do like breaking it down. The terpenes and the cannabinoids are all in it, and then just to even see people's faces when you do know all that stuff, they kind of like light up and their eyes go big. You know,
they're sitting there like, damn, I thought I knew a lot about weed.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
over here, and there's like some older people, you know, that go in there all big chested, like I've been smoking
right?
for 50 years. And then like, oh really? You know, all right, cool. Let me teach you something real quick. You know, and they're like sitting there with their eyes wide open, like, man, you just fucking schooled me. You know, I feel like, you know, a piece of shit now. You know? No, I actually had one guy tell me that. He's like, shit, man. Like, I thought I came in here because he did end up going in there pretty big chested, and
of course.
I was like, he started talking about trichomes and, you know, their effectiveness. And I told him straight up, I was like, honestly, man, trichomes don't really do much. They're just there as a defense mechanism for the plant, you know. You know, and I don't want to go. Yeah,
he was just like, "What?"
He's like, "What?" No. I was like, "Yeah, man, just you know, research it a little bit. You know, it just kind of helps out with the, you know, the defensive plan."
And honestly, if you guys are listening, any customers, just keep an open mind too when we talk to you about stuff. You know, we're not trying to sit here and make you feel stupid. We're just trying to sit here and, you know, we want you guys to know about what this stuff can actually, you know, help you for. You know, also too is like, do you use any of this stuff for like any type of stress relief or anything like that, or
all the time. You know, it just it became habitual, you know, to a point or at a point where it's just I just smoke kind of to keep me going now.
Okay.
And it's not like something I can't stop. I can obviously stop if I wanted to, because there has been, you know, this might be the entrance to that part of the story. You know, there's been drugs that you know, I was you know, at one point in my life, you know, stuck on for a few years. And I was able to stop that cold turkey, you know. So cannabis, you know, I feel like it's there, and it really does help me, you know, just go about my day without having to deal with a lot of stresses and stuff because of what I have been through in my life, you know.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, it does help me. It really does, and I never really seen it as something that helps me in that way until somebody, when I was working, you know, first started working at the dispensary, kind of told me, you know. You know, they asked me why I smoked weed, and I just told them I just smoke it to smoke it, not realizing that I really am smoking it, you know, for a beneficial, you know, reasons. Yeah. So, I really do think I kind of am using it in a beneficial way now. You know. Yeah,
of course. You know, weed, it can, once you sit down and actually relax and kind of feel what you're feeling, especially when you're on this stuff, you definitely learn what kind of effects you get and all the stuff like that. But going back to like you said, all those other drug things. What really? I wanted you on the podcast because I consider it very inspirational that you were able to use those other drugs? Because you said you were going on a pretty bad path, right?
Yeah, very, very bad path. I ran into met some bad people,
And that's how it always starts. It's like
Yeah,
who you surround yourself
It's
with, right?
and they always say that weed is the entrance drug to that, and hell no, man. I'm a living story for that. That weed was not the entrance drug to any of that. Nothing. Weed had absolutely nothing to do with what I was introduced to and how I was introduced to it.
Were some of these people just people who hung around your family, or was this
No,
something
these are
you
just
ventured
people.
out?
These are just people that I met. I actually had moved into a new city. From where I was at, and just new people that I had met. Nobody that I had grown up with. I think it would have been actually worse if I would have continued to be around the people that I did grow up with. Unfortunately,
Why is that?
Just because a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them just fell into a really, really bad path. I grew up in an unwealthy area, so a lot of gangs.
It's very rampant.
Yeah. So, you're a product of your environment. It's a true thing. It's real. And I kind of got out of it, but I ended up in a different environment.
Just as bad, or is it
No,
more organized? Or?
no, I guess so. I wouldn't even put organized or anything on it. Nothing was organized about it. I mean, the people that I befriended, organized around their side. I never really I was never gang affiliated. I never liked that. Everything that I was all about was always chasing money. I've always been, I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so I always wanted to try to make a lot of it. And I thought drugs was the way to go. You see fucking, these documentaries and shit of people making all this money on drugs or doing drugs or, selling drugs and all this shit. So, I had a old friend of mine. He's still a friend of mine, and I don't want to say he introduced it to me because he didn't, basically I was working at this job, doing really good, I made management really quick at a young age of 19 years old, running my own store. Had a couple stores actually that they would send me to help train the employees in sales because I'm really good, I'm really good, really friendly person. I know how to sell shit, so that's what got me thinking, shit, man, if I can fucking, sell a TV to somebody that just bought a TV 2 days ago, you know what I mean? I could probably sell drugs to somebody that fucking...
Okay, so let's back up. So you just got hired at a store. You're doing great. You're doing well. What actually led you to... What actually led you to from going from that high status point of like being a salesman at the store? Obviously, it's not the coolest thing to be like a salesman at some fucking random store, but like, what led you to drugs? I mean, there's just like that big middle part.
I'm just talking way too much here now, huh? I'm not even letting you get your 2 cents in. So basically, this company ended up going under. They ended up going bankrupt, and I didn't have anything to fall back onto. I just didn't. I didn't know what to do. I was young still, and one of my buddies, I ended up finding out he did these drugs, and I was like, hey man, fucking, I'm trying to make some extra money. I need to pay some rent, because I had my own place at the time. I know this is how you make money because I know you don't have a job. You know what I mean? Let me get in on this shit real quick.
Okay.
Let me get back on. Let me get a little bit of money, pay my rent, so I can get back on my feet real quick.
And he was all for it.
He was all for it. Hey, I'm talking. This guy's really dope, man. He's really cool. He was always there to help me out. And honestly, if I ever win the lottery, I'm taking this guy with me. Like he's a really good friend. So he basically gave me his connect. He was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do this for you if I can let you make some money, take care of your rent and shit. So when he did that, I was like, you know what? If I want to be selling this, I want to try it. Fucking bad idea, man. That was the worst. Don't. No, if you're gonna be selling something, do not even try it because you're gonna end up liking it. There's a reason why drugs are...
Did you like it at first, or was it something you kind of like were like, oh, I'm not a big fan of it, and then as you were around it...
No, I liked it at first.
Oh,
I
shit.
tried it, and it was good, man. It was really good. It was amazing. So I did end up selling it, but it was kind of hard to make profits on it because I was doing it at now, I was doing it now. So I ended up getting pretty stuck on it for a couple years. I won't even go into details on what it was. You know,
Yeah,
just know it was a drug and it was bad, and don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Marijuana's not a drug.
Go green. But yeah, I ended up going down a dark path with that, man. It just got worse. You know, it just got worse and worse from there.
Of course, you know, like anytime you do something like even in abundance, even this stuff in abundance, I feel like if you're not on your P's and Q's about things, you know, you definitely, you know, you'll fall off somehow.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is a lot stronger, a lot more dangerous thing that you're dealing with, and you're selling it too.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with not so great people too. At the time.
Sketchy people, man, sketchy people.
Especially the people coming to grab it, right?
I always wanted to stop by, you know, instead of just waiting. You know, like hell no, don't come to my house. You know, don't
exactly.
Come, fucking burn the spot. You know, but I would have people coming to my place, you know, trying to get some, and I'm like, nah, man. And I still continued like a dumbass. So it's
do you think the reason was because you were on it too at the same time?
Yeah, like
the lifestyle of it was just something.
I'm trying to think of the word. You get really confident. You know, the confidence you get from being on drugs is insane. You know, it like skyrockets for some reason. You think you're like the smartest person on the planet.
Invincible,
you know,
right?
Invincible. Yeah. You know, nothing can stop you, and. So yeah, it just kept me going.
You kept going through this lifestyle, and I know that like I'm sure it was fun though, right? At the time,
it was fun, man.
Like was it a lot of friends that were kind of like doing it?
It wasn't a lot of friends. It was a few friends. It was a few friends, you know. But then again, I'm not a person to have a lot of friends, you know. Even when I was, you know, doing drugs and stuff, I'm a really, really, really down to earth, nice person. You know, I have been through a lot of shit, and I do come off as an asshole a lot to some people. But I think that comes from me not really. I don't want to say caring about what other people. I don't even want to say that. It's just,
it could be an environment thing too.
Yeah,
because you're from an environment where there's gang ridden, so you're dealing with people who are very dangerous compared to people at the shop who not very dangerous.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're not dealing with people who are very like gonna fucking try to fight you.
And
every time.
You're putting danger or dangerous as like a pretty big thing, but like I guess I was never around the danger, even if they were dangerous people, whatever they did. I was never in that situation to where I was put in any of those dangerous situations, even if they were dangerous people. Like I said, I was always cool with everybody. It wasn't like I was trying to make a name for myself. I was just there wanting to make some money and being cool with everybody. That was it.
Yeah, I understand that, but the difference is the what's at stake though. What's at stake at where you are now is not as what was at stake before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I guess like the stakes are definitely higher where you were. So you definitely had to be on your toes more. For sure, right?
Yeah, because you have to be looking behind your back. For a lot of things. Because when you're selling drugs, it's not just people that are looking at you. It's
competition,
authority. Authority.
Too,
you have to think about that shit. And it got really, constantly looking out the window and being paranoid and shit that my phone was bugged and shit like that. It was fun being on the drugs, but there's a lot of things that are not fun about that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of consequences that came with.
Yeah, you're always looking behind your back. For no reason. You're literally looking behind your back for no reason. And I don't understand what that reason was, but I was constantly like, kind of sketched out about every single person that, even just looked at me, I would wonder why they're looking at me. Okay. just, for no reason, But I don't know. It was
no, I understand. And I definitely know that I don't know that paranoid feeling, but I understand what you go through. I'm a very visual learner. So, like, if I see someone, acting a little squirrely, I definitely know that's not something I would want to take into consideration when I'm, doing something. But you're paranoid. You're on what you are. But, what happens after? So, what actually makes you decide, hey, Because this is the part that gets where it everything starts to turn around. Is what actually makes you decide like, hey, this is not for me anymore.
Oh yeah, so we'll get into that part. Just because that's the most important part.
Exactly.
I think that's the most important part, to be quite honest. You know, there was a point in time. It was like the last couple months of me doing drugs. I was just really down in the literally like the darkest place of my life. I hated my life. I was going nowhere, was just jumping house to house, with friends and shit.
You were jumping house to house with friends?
Yeah, just laying, like sleeping, wherever I could. I didn't have my own place anymore. I lost everything because of the drugs.
Okay.
I lost everything. You live and you learn. This is a good, live and you learn. So I just didn't want to be on this planet anymore. Really, really at all. And I had a buddy that I was staying with at the time, and he had guns and shit. And when I told him that, I was stressed out, and I just didn't want to be here anymore. He fucking cocked the gun, and he put it to my chest, loaded, and he had his finger on the trigger. And he was kind of like, "All right, you don't want to be here anymore? Like, say it again, fucking say it again." And he kept, fucking pushing the fucking gun into my chest. And it really kind of got me into a realization that I was just kind of fucking talking out of my ass. I was just kind of scared of what the drugs were doing to me.
Now, when he did this, did you believe he was going to shoot you? Or
I did.
You did?
I was.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I fucking shit my pants because this guy was. He's one of the people that was what was that word that
dangerous?
Yeah. So. I got really scared. I got really scared, and fucking the next day, that whole kind of, that just kind of went under the bridge. It was like it was over after that. I was like, you know what, fucking nah, I don't want to die. I'm good. I want to be here. I want to be here. And then the next day, I woke up in the morning, took a shower, and I was in the shower and just kind of just sitting there for like 20 minutes in the shower, just like, what the fuck am I doing? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm fucking smart, I didn't get raised in a bad household, what am I doing? What am I doing with my fucking life? I'm young. And I just kind of fucking snapped out of it, man. Got out of the shower and, I have a big family. So I called up one of my brothers and told him to come pick me up from where I was at. And that was it. Called my brother, and then I called my sister to see if I could stay with her. And she took me in, and that was that was in 2014, I believe. So it was about 8 years ago now.
Well, I just graduated high school at the time.
Yeah, so it's 2014, and so yeah, man, I just decided this is not for me. I'm too smart for this shit. I'm better than this. I've always thought pretty well of myself, so I have a lot of people that I've run into, and I needed to change. And I went fucking cold turkey. From that day, did not even touch drugs aside from weed. Weed still has,
what's funny is like when I hear about drugs a lot is like people who do drugs, they constitute every drug, mm-hmm. which means that if they're doing one drug, they're doing everything.
Yeah.
How are you able to do this, and how are you able to keep away from those other things that like?
Because I got scared shitless. Mm-hmm. That shit really scared me. Fear is a hell of a drug.
no, for sure. But like,
yeah.
what keeps you? Because like, what keeps you doing this? Where like you don't want to do any other drugs?
Because I'm not. I'm losing my mind on this shit. I'm not sitting here all paranoid thinking, mm-hmm. This is not setting me back anyway. It's really beneficial to my state of mind,
Okay. And was that your initial thought after you had done it? Or was that like you try to get away from all drugs at first?
No, I didn't want to get away from all drugs at first.
Okay.
I feel like if it wasn't for weed, I would have jumped back to the other drug that I was doing.
Okay.
Because I wanted to still feel something,
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't like feeling normal. Still at that point, just because it was too soon after, hating my life. Didn't want to feel normal,
Yeah,
I wanted to feel something.
You're sure you're on your thoughts
and weed made me feel something. A lot of relief. That I felt better than, the other drug. I felt like, this is fucking... the thing for me. It helps me fucking ease my mind and get me to not want to do those other drugs. You know what I mean?
Wow, like a medicine.
Yeah, like a medicine, like
yeah.
how it's supposed to be. You know. And
So, this being that you're doing that, and then after you had taken, your sister had picked you up. How long are you living with your sister for?
For a long while, man. For shit, just up until like a year ago. You know, until me and my pops took over this place. Okay. But yeah, I was living with my sister for the past 7 years.
And how? And did your family know about all this that was going on?
At first, no. Obviously, you try to keep that shit away from everybody. It's kind of embarrassing. Even while I was on the drugs, I always knew in my head that what I was doing was bad and stupid and fucking embarrassing. I didn't lose my mind completely. I didn't lose all fucking thoughts of reality. But deep down, those thoughts stick with you. That you're always better than that. So
yeah, and and after that, did you end up telling your family at all?
Yeah. They ended up finding out. Obviously, you just start looking different. Fucking dark circles under your eyes. You disappear from everybody for months at a time.
Oh, they had found out you were on it.
Yeah, yeah. Just because, like I said, they're family. It's hard to stay away from family, and you start looking different when you're doing drugs. You really do. Whether even if it's fucking prescription pills and shit. Your body starts just not being the same. So no matter what drug you take, you could fucking drink 2 liter of Coca-Cola every day for the rest of your life and look different. It's a drug. So your family starts seeing you look a little different. And
was it hard when did they ever confront you about it? Or?
Not directly. It was very indirectly. Because like I said, I was kind of a dick. I was kind of an asshole. I came off as an asshole because I was just really aggressive. I didn't like anything. I didn't like anybody at one point. So they were kind of afraid to tell me shit in fear of that. I would react badly. And honestly, I probably would have said some stupid ass shit. Yeah. You say some stupid shit when you're angry. A lot of not good words come out of your mouth when you're angry. So it's very wise to not speak when you're angry at all. Just fucking wait a few minutes after you're angry to say anything. And so they didn't ever confront me directly. It was all indirectly. But I'm a salesman. I can read people very well, and I was able to read all that shit. And and it wasn't just from family; it was from friends, family. One of my friends' moms told me I looked like a fucking a zombie and shit one time, and I was like, what, fucking, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So that kind of played a part into me shaping my shit up, and so.
This was after or before you quit?
This was before I quit that she had told me that. So yeah, man, it was my family.
It wasn't just the gun. The gun was like kind of the cherry on top. It was a lot of things leading up to it.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm a smart person. Like
you're catching on to what people are actually saying.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you were still kind of in contact with those people, because I know some drug addicts will just completely leave everything behind.
Yeah.
Not even have any contact. So you still had contact with those people, your loved ones, and you were actually catching on the signs that they were like, hey, you're not looking too well.
Yeah.
Hey man, things aren't acting a little different or stuff like that. And then as soon as you quit, it's just like, is it just like, do they know automatically, or are they like?
Yeah, honestly, your body does start going back to normal pretty quickly. I started putting more weight on, and
Do you think that's a mental thing?
No, that's definitely physical. That's definitely
not the weight. I'm just talking about because you went cold turkey. You decided you were done. Right?
Yeah, and it's weird because I hear it all the time that drugs are so addictive, and like you go through these withdrawals and you can't sleep and like all this shit. I did not go through that, and I was doing drugs for 3 years. Like it's not like it was something that I did every so often. I was doing it every day. I was doing the drugs every day for 3 years. It was a thing to do every day. And I completely went cold turkey without even the thought of doing it again after that. Like I literally, the day that I said I hated this shit, I hated that shit. And I just despised it and never wanted to see it and never wanted to be around it again. And it was very easy for me to I guess not have the withdrawals. And I want if it was because of the weed, then goddamn,
Okay.
you know, if it was
Yeah.
because of the weed, then goddamn.
Yeah.
But this is all I did after that, you know, was weed. You know, that was it. It's not like I relied on anything except for taking a dab here and there that my brother had. I didn't have all kinds of money to be buying weed. It was just random, you know, weed smoking here and there. So yeah, it was like.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I mean, it's awesome to hear that you didn't go through any like actual pain to actually get back to, you know, to normal. Because, you know, I hear, like you said, you hear stories all the time of these fucking people who just like I think people have died going through withdrawals, man.
Yeah.
And like you just came back to normal. And how long do you think it took you to like mentally and physically to actually become like, oh no, I'm good again? Like,
probably about a year or so. It still took a while because, you know, the people that you're involved with kind of follow you around for a little while. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, you've been kind of doing business with them for a little bit.
So are they like hitting you up? Like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know, just bugging, just bugging,
yeah.
you know, just bugging. Nothing serious, nothing dangerous or anything. Just bugging. You know, you're trying to get away from that, and they're just constantly like there on your shoulder, and you just gotta ignore it. That's all he did was ignore it. You know, couldn't do much else except for ignore it, and it helped. You know.
So you completely shut them out.
Yeah,
too.
completely. And that's also another thing that I've kind of learned over the years. You know, I'm 35, and as bad as it hurts to fucking cut people out of your life, and as much as you may not want to cut people out of your life, whether it be friend or family or whatever, sometimes people need to be cut out of your life, and it hurts, but fucking. You got to get over it.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah,
right?
you got to do it because not everybody is there to be beneficial to you. You know, their ways of life are in a different direction to where you want to be going, and it's not a bad thing to cut people off. It really isn't. You know, it might hurt for a couple months or so or whatever, but you know, don't be afraid to cut anybody off.
Yeah, you're right. And it's we're glad you learned that because I mean. Like I said, you are who you. Well, like we said, you know, like you are who you hang around with, and these people, you know, they can get you back right where you were, you know, peer pressure and all that shit. So you did the whole thing. Not only did you go cold turkey from drugs, like you went cold turkey from the people who surrounded that stuff.
Yeah,
which is something you have to do. Is like you can't be around people who do that stuff, and so you're out of your sister's. Now you're at your sister's right now, and you're living with her. And what's your first job? Like
that wasn't the end of the story. It wasn't all glory after that, man. You know, these last 8 years, even though I've been clean and out of drugs,
though, right?
It's been a very tough battle, to climb back. And when I staying at my sister's, I started working warehouses. It was hard to get back into anything. Started working warehouses, just these little $8, $9, $10 an hour jobs back when, that was a minimum wage and shit. And it was cool, I didn't really think anything of advancement in, career or anything like that. I was just wanting to just get out of that mentality of being a fucking bum, and doing drugs and shit. And so I just got myself back into a state of mind of trying to work, trying to be responsible. And still, it was hard, man. It was really hard. It was not easy, for even 4 or 5 years after that. It's really hard to bounce back from the dark place that I was in. When you're literally contemplating not being on this planet anymore, you're basically starting over from scratch. It's
almost like you were reborn after that.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, almost, almost. But so it wasn't easy,
And then, so like, what was your first job? I know, like,
I can't remember my first job. It was definitely a warehouse.
Yeah.
I want to say it was with my brother. My brother ended up getting me a job at the warehouse he was working. I was driving a forklift, and it was cool. It was a good, cool little job, and that's kind of what started, getting me back into the work groove and getting responsible and shit. I still didn't have my own car or anything like that, I'd fallen back on bills because I didn't have a job. I'd lost a job with the company that went under, and so everything was lost for me. Driving a forklift, man, was my first job back, and it was cool. It's
awesome.
You got to be humble. You got to be humble. You got to be humble. From going from nothing to driving a forklift, that quick. And
well, I think quitting in general is you're humbling yourself. Because like you're not like when you're on that stuff, like you probably think you're on top of the world all the time, and then like you're going back to a forklift and working like.
Collecting $400 a week, exactly. Working my ass off, and
and then continuing that. How do you actually? You say you started working at the shop. How do you actually start working at the shop after that?
The dispensary.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is still years.
Okay.
Over the years, I kind of met some people. Just friends of friends. My last warehouse that I worked at was 2016. 4 years ago now, 5 years ago, I think. Or is that 6 years? Damn, it's 6 years now. All right. So I was at this battery manufacturer, right? And, I was working with like these lead acid batteries. It was very dangerous for your health, but it was good money for me. And I liked it, even though it was really strenuous, hard work. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and, just really strenuous work. But I liked it. I felt responsible. I was making enough money to take care of my responsibilities, had a car payment, And something ended up happening with that job. I won't go into details with that. It was nothing too bad. But one of my buddies, he's an ex-NFL player, and he had this mobile detailing company that he had, kind of got up and running and shit. And he started, and he didn't have anybody to work it. So I was like, hey, man, I just, fucked off on this job right here, You need a detailer?
Yeah.
So I took over the detailing, and let me tell you, man, that's the hardest work I've ever done in my life.
Wow, really?
I've unloaded 75-foot containers in the middle of the summer, at warehouses.
Of course, yeah.
Detailing cars in the middle of the summer is tough. It's tough work.
And these are for ex-NFL player. I can imagine high-class people.
Yeah,
right?
So it wasn't all. Like I did have some pretty high-end customers, but I basically started from the bottom. I had to start from the bottom. But it did really well. It just wasn't well enough for my finances at the time, my rent, my car payment and stuff. So I did that for about a year, and just wasn't paying me well enough, it just was not paying me well enough. So I had to stop doing that. But one of his buddies was working security at the time. I had a gun. I didn't have my guard card. I didn't have my firearm permit, or I had my firearm permit for my gun, but I didn't have my carry license for to be security. So he hits me up. He's like, hey man, fucking you've been working your ass off doing the detailing. I got some fucking under the table security jobs that are paying $2,600 every 2 weeks. So I was making about $5,000 a month.
So you're running,
I took it right there. I was like, you know what, I don't have my permits or anything. He was like, hey, don't worry about it, fucking just go to these spots for the next week, 2-3 weeks, a month or whatever. We'll get you your permits. So I started doing security in 2018, I think it was. Nice. And making good money. I was making like $5,000 a month. I think that year I made about $70K all to me.
Living
all to me. Yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice.
Did you splurge a little bit? What'd you get?
A little bit. A lot of it, man. I did. Going from making fucking $400 a week to making, what is that, $400 a week? That's $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
Going from making $1,600 a month to making $5,300 a month, that was very, very nice. I did put some of it away, which I lost, with bad investments, in the last couple of years, which I'll start over. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I ended up doing security, man, and I liked it. It was fun. Graveyard. I was doing graveyard, but it fucked up my health a little bit.
Yeah. Oh no, I can imagine just getting fucking odd nights.
Eating at odd hours of the day, and my
I can only imagine
your stomach acids and shit in your belly don't really hold up very well or do very well that late.
Yeah, what kind of things did you spend? I mean, tell us. What's some big purchases?
Eating out, bro. Me and my brother. So I don't really, like I said, I don't have a lot of friends and stuff. The friends I do have, they're married, they have kids. They can't go out and do things that I like to do. That's literally almost all my friends. It's like four, four or five people. But so me and my brother, we go out a lot, and we hang out. We just go out and find random restaurants, random food spots. So I was spending I was eating like a king for that year and a half. I was whatever I wanted to eat, bro. Whatever, I'm talking. We're spending like $150.
Some filet mignon.
A meal. That was like multiple times a day, So,
oh shit, multiple times a day.
We're spending money on food. Like if it was, if that was a thing to do,
we're gonna eat.
So
that was. Do.
I regret it. Obviously, I wish I would have put a lot more of that money to the side.
That's awesome. But I wish I could do that.
I feel though I would have lost it all anyways with that investment that I made. The more money I would have put to the side, the more money I would have been like, oh shit, that's a good investment. That's a good return. I'm gonna try to do this. Blah blah blah. And you live and you learn.
Of course, yeah.
I thought it was good at the time, and I learned, and I'm not gonna do that shit again.
Was it stocks, crypto?
Yeah, it was some stock options.
Some options.
Some options. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Bad. I put my money on it, and like 2 days later, like the moment I put my money on it, I just see it fucking start going down. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, it was.
Damn, must have been a lot of money, huh?
Yeah, it sucked. It's all right though.
No, yeah. I mean, I can imagine. I had to sell all my fucking stocks because I was moving into my into a new place, and bro, if I would have kept those stocks, man, I had stocks in fucking Pfizer. Whatever the fucking
Moderna,
vaccines going on.
Yeah, the vaccines.
$10,000 at least down the fucking drain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. Like I said, you live and you learn, and
of course, yeah, we're gonna make it all back.
For me, it's easy to move on from little mistakes like that. I know it's not like easy like that for a lot of people, but I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to dealing with shit, just because of what I've been through in my life.
Definitely perseverance, right?
I try to keep nothing but a good attitude. I know you see it at work. That's the real me, man. Like I just want you to know, I'm not putting on a fucking front when I go into work and I'm in a good mood every day. Mm-hmm. I'm in a good mood every fucking day.
Because you're not where you were.
I'm not where I was at all. To be jumping from house to house, doing drugs, not having a fucking dollar in the bank account, not even having a bank account at one point, to driving a fucking Lexus F Sport, red interior, having my own spot, with my pops, but like to go from that to being where I'm at now, and there's no reason for me to ever be upset. Honestly, I'm not going, never. It's going to take a lot for me to fucking get to a point where I'm going to be rubbing off some bad energy or bad negativity on anybody,
Yeah, I mean, at the shop, I definitely feel that is like as much as some people can tick you off, it always seems like right after you're perfectly okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know their customers can be a little hard to deal with too. But and this is the part that kind of drew me to your story is like you just seeing you come back from all that. I mean, I guess at first my first impression was like, yeah, this guy he's a little too happy all the time. I don't know how the fuck he does it. Jesus Christ, because I'll be honest, I'm not that happy all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not down on myself a lot, but I'm just more like I'm just
you're young, bro. What are you fucking 22?
25.
25? Yeah, see, you're young. That was the prime of my fucking drug years was 25. You got years and years and years to fucking develop and grow into a fucking person that like you're gonna see like none of these worries and stresses that you stress about now are fucking worth it. Like at all. Like literally at all. It doesn't matter if you've gone through shit. Like literally none of the stresses are worth it. Like even the stresses of not being able to pay your bills, fuck it. Who cares? You're not able to pay your bill. You get charged an extra $25, on top of that. Don't fucking sit there and stress out the whole day because you can't pay your fucking $25 bill. Who cares? Drop that off your shoulder. Fucking go on with the rest of your day and worry about it when the time comes. Don't sit there and fucking stress on shit that is not gonna do anything. By you stressing about it, if that made any sense.
It makes sense. It was like what Lawrence told me on Monday. He said, have a sandwich. That's what he told me.
Have a sandwich.
Have a sandwich. Like enjoy what you got right now and enjoy what you're going through. Because like you said, like maybe going through that experience that you did, maybe it made you a better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it made you grow into something better.
Mm-hmm.
Because statistically, you weren't supposed to make it out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's cool to see because like you like someone else I know is like my mom. She was a single mom with 3 kids and no education. She went to college. She became an RN. She makes over $100,000 a year.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, and it's just like the types of people like that. It's great, you know, because it just proves that like you don't have to be a statistic. You don't have to be someone who, you know, gets caught up, or even if you do go to jail, because there's people who go to jail and even after jail they're fucking coming out and they're making great shit. You know, they're doing great shit. So it's always great to hear something where like someone has gone through hell, you know, and wanted to, you know, end their life, and now they're here, and now they're having the time of their life, you know. As much as, you know,
I wouldn't go and say having the time of my life. There's still things that, you know.
Well, there's in life, but like,
you know.
but from where you were, now you're driving a Lexus. Now you're in your house on your own. You know, it's cool to see that transformation,
the growth,
and that perseverance. Yeah. The fact that you were able to get out of that.
Thank you.
Because you know, I know, like I said, you know, some people who just fucking stay there and they'll always be that way.
That's because drugs are, you know, they make drugs for that, you know, to get you stuck. You know, it's hard to get out of that shit. So, you know. I feel for drug use sometimes, you know, like it's not something that is easy to just stop doing. Obviously, you know, they make drugs addictive for a reason, for profits, you know, and you know they don't want people to stop doing drugs, obviously, so they make them addictive as possible. And you know, if you can beat that, then fucking more power to you.
Yeah, more power to you, man. You're like I said, you're an inspiration. We've been going for about an hour. Is there anything else you want to cover or anything like that?
Shit. I mean,
it's up to you, man. Any topics?
I can keep going.
You keep going?
Yeah, I can keep going.
That's what most people say. You know, when I started this, everyone's usually really shy at the beginning. I don't know what to say. And then as we get to like the hour, like, oh, yeah, this is fucking keep going. I did Miguel and David's, ended up being 2 hours.
Yeah.
Josh ended up being an hour and a half. Or no, his ended up being 2 hours too. So, yeah, what do you think about actually being on a podcast?
No, this is actually not my first podcast. I was on a podcast a while back. I think it was like 2011, 2010. Yeah, my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law, cool dude, man. Yeah, he's still always going to be my brother-in-law. Are we out?
No, hold on. Okay, we're
good. He's still always going to be my brother-in-law, man. It doesn't matter what happened. But he's a cool dude. But anyways, he started this podcast. He used to brew his own beer at home, you know, and he called it Free Beer Podcast. It was actually really dope. So how we did it is it was like 4 or 5 of us, my sister, you know, my brother-in-law, me, just a bunch of randos, you know, a bunch of random friends and stuff. But basically we would start like 9 p.m. ish. And it was basically just a drinking podcast. You know, you just drink, and by the end of the show, you're just talking about random news and stuff going on. You know, drink of the week. You know, just going on. You know, just having a good time. You know, It was fun. It was really fun.
What a podcast should be.
Yeah. And I think it's still actually there's some episodes on YouTube, to be quite honest. I think. But anyways, by 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock rolls around, everybody's just smashed off of drinking. You know, just smashed. It was really fun. That was a good time. So yeah, that was one of the podcasts that I was on. Well, the only other podcast I was on.
Awesome though. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Free Beer Podcast.
Yeah, it's no longer going, unfortunately. This was a long time ago.
Free Beer Podcast Classics.
Yeah, classics.
Yeah, but like, how do you feel it being about you though?
It's a little different. I honestly though, so I kind of I enjoy. I feel like this might potentially help somebody. I really feel like it has a potential. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because you know, working at the dispensary, I actually had a conversation with one of the guests, you know, about my life, you know, because he came into the shop. And I can read people very well. Like I said, you know, I'm in sales. You know, you got to be able to read people. And he came in just he's a regular. He comes in, you know, pretty reserved all the time. But he was just very extra reserved this day, like very, very, just very down. And I just sparked up a little conversation with him. I was like, "Hey, man, you good today? Like, you seem a little extra down today." He's like, "Oh yeah, just some stress is going on right now." And blah blah. He told me his little story, and just the gist of it. He didn't like get into detail. Obviously he doesn't know me. I've helped him out at the shop many times, but just as a bud tender, nothing on a personal level. So I actually got a little personal with him. And I told him my story, kind of what I just described here, about my past and how I went in a dark place and just all the stresses that I've been through and told him my whole story. And he basically got like really flushed in the face, really red and kind of like teary eyed. His eyes got all watery and shit. And he was very, very, very appreciative of me taking my time out to like pull him to the side, because I pulled him to the side. I didn't like do it in front of other guests and shit. That I took my time out to figure out what was wrong with him, and ever since then, man, like I'm not even exaggerating. I haven't seen him in a bad mood since, and I've seen him many times, well over 20 times in the shop, and he's in there literally like, yeah. I think I know. I think yeah. So. Yeah, man, he's in a very good place now. I guess something wasn't. There was some contract that he needed to be signed or whatever that he was holding on to for a few years, and literally 3 or 4 days after I had talked to him, that contract went through, and he signed that contract. So I'm happy for him. It was really dope. For that to happen so soon after talking to him, it made me feel like, maybe I had something to do with it, and it's a good feeling. I would wish that a lot of people would try to be a good person and feel that feeling of helping somebody out, like truly, like
empathy, some type of empathy.
Because I don't feel like a lot of people get that feeling with all the hate and shit. So, yeah.
No, for sure, and I'm sure anyone you tell, man. I don't consider myself to have a huge audience, but I mean, I'm doing pretty decent numbers right now. I'm not trying to float my boat or anything. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I just kind of want to welcome all walks of life on here, and I just think that you had a great story, That's just so fucking awesome to hear about. Like, you told someone your story and it inspired them to at least have a better day.
Yeah, have a better day.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. That's all I wanted. That's literally all. I wasn't trying to change his life or anything. I just wanted him to be in a better mood. He had just bought some weed. You know what I mean? Like there's worse things in the world to be mad at.
Exactly.
Stresses go away.
No, you're right. Yeah, and things could be a lot worse. But yeah, that's great to hear. That's awesome. Anything else you want to cover? We can keep going, man. Honestly, I got some more time. If you anything you want to hear, like I said, I can edit all this. None of this can be in there. What I'm saying right now.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But if you want to keep going, if there's anything you want to cover, anything that you want to your childhood or anything, sports, we can go fucking anywhere with this.
What else? What other topics have you like talked about? Like that maybe an interesting aspect of my life that was pretty interesting from somebody else's as well. You know what I mean? Maybe there's some similarities in that.
I could talk about my first impression of you.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. I think the first time I saw you was because I didn't work there when you were actually doing security. You actually just got hired as a bud tender. You had a bald head and you had a bunch of tattoos. And the first thing I was thinking, like, this guy's gonna be a problem.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Because I don't try to come off. I don't try to be hard at all. That's like not my thing. I'm very laid back. I very try to just do my job and go home. But I also don't like being disrespected. And so I just thought being with the tattoos or something. I honestly thought you were a skinhead. That's what I thought too. I was like, fuck, this guy's he's not gonna like me off the bat.
Yeah,
so
that's
I was
funny
like, okay, this guy's gonna be an issue. But as we developed, working together, and we've developed a work relationship, I definitely think that like it definitely, you were always in a good mood, and that kind of like it didn't agitate me, but I was like,
what the fuck is this guy's problem?
Yeah. Why is he so fucking happy all the time, man? But yeah, as I get through, I found out like, wow, like this. I think I think I overheard you telling this story to someone else, and I immediately thought like, wow, I have to talk to him about
It may
this.
have been right after, because not a lot of people, get this story. I like to kind of keep it to myself. I may have been telling Jules about that experience with the customer. And I think that may have been what you overheard or something.
I heard something, and I was like.
It could have been up in the front when I was talking about the boat accident. It wasn't. I do like to talk about the boat accident because that is a traumatic experience, and I think the more you talk about a traumatic experience, the
easier it gets.
Yes, it makes it easier for you to deal with because I had nightmares for years.
Of course.
After that boat accident, and it was because you're keeping all that shit bottled in. Mm-hmm. You need to release that shit. Talk about it. That way you're not thinking about it. If you talk about something, you're going to stop thinking about it. I mean, I think that's the way it's supposed to work, at least for me,
I understand. No, it's usually how it works. Most people you're supposed to talk about things or even cry. I mean, I know crying is not a big manly thing, but you do need to do it. Whether you do it on your own or you do it in front of people, teach his own. Please don't do it in front of people. Though.
I'm not a big crier. I feel uncomfortable when people cry around me, and the only reason I do feel uncomfortable is because I feel bad. I feel like I don't want them to be crying. Like I just feel bad for them. I don't like. I just feel sorrow. I don't know. I
understand. It's like an empathy.
Yeah, like I really have a genuine big heart for people that are in a sad spot in their life or a bad spot in their life. I don't know where that came from in me. That's always even before my experiences has always been part of me. I've always felt the empathy towards people that were in a shitty position.
Because you were that empathy. Do you always feel like you have to say something?
I do. I always feel like I have to. Communication and clarity really helps ease the mind, and I always feel like things need to be said just to clear things up. It doesn't even have to be personal. You don't always have to get personal with shit. Just easy yeses and nos, I guess. Just to as some type of communication is pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And that's cool. That's cool that you feel that way. Yeah. So after you told those stories, to whoever you had told them, I think there were separate occasions, if I'm not mistaken, from what I remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, automatically, I think like when I actually started this whole thing, I was like, yeah, I think you probably were up there in my mind most of the time. Just because, like I said, dude, the stories are incredible. You don't meet a lot of people like you.
Yeah.
You don't meet a lot of people. You either got to go to that side and get the real story, or you got to go, or you're never going to get that story. Yeah. And it's cool that you made that transition.
I'm glad I didn't, your first impression of me, yeah. Because that's I guess with the tattoos, I do get that.
We do come off a little harsh sometimes.
Yeah,
you can, for sure.
Yeah,
but
I feel like because I'm human. Everybody gets upset and stressed. And I'm not saying just because I've been saying don't be stressed about things. I obviously get stressed about shit.
Yeah,
but
deal with it.
Yeah, but it's basically like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be stressed out. I'm gonna think about it for the next 20 minutes or so, and then that's it. Let me think about it for a little bit. Let me fucking figure out why I'm stressed out. Let me figure out if I can fix it. And then if I can't fix it, if I'm stressed out for no reason, cool, I'm done being stressed out. But you got to think of there's points in my day that I'm stressed out, I'm mad. So with that, I don't like rubbing off negativity on anybody. So if I am quiet around you and I feel like I'm in a bad mood, agitated or anything, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just in my head, and I'm not trying to release any negativity on anybody, especially at work, because that shit is contagious, man. Like, really contagious.
Oh, yeah, you can fuck up
not just at work, but, everywhere.
Well,
everywhere.
If you're in a group, you can fuck up a whole group's mood.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's definitely something that you carry. The good attitude. Well, at least you try to be, for sure. And like you said, everyone has their days.
Everybody has their days.
I've seen everyone pissed off, so.
Especially recently, man, with everything that's been going on with work, it's pretty stressful.
Dude, yeah. How do you feel about that?
Ooh, excuse me. Edit that one out.
We'll keep it in.
I like the direction that the company's headed in. I like the opportunities that are going to be coming around. You know, we all work for a reason. I hope it's not to stay in the same spot. You know, I hope everybody's working to try to build their portfolio and, you know, try to advance in their careers and whatnot. You know, I'm not looking to be a bud tender, you know, forever. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking to start running shit soon, you know. I feel with ease, they're a big company. They're expanding. They give me the best opportunity right now in the cannabis industry.
So you plan on sticking with the company?
Yeah. I have, you know, made an impression on obviously a bunch of other companies out there with, you know, like vendors coming in and them seeing my, I guess, selling skills and whatnot, you know. And this is just based off what I hear, you know, not based off of what I see. So that alone, you know, making friends in the cannabis industry, and that's where your advancement comes from, and your potential, you know, career opportunities come from is, you know, befriending people. And I think I'm more than with my footstep in right now with that.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna
for
stick.
sure.
I'm gonna stick with it, man. I'm gonna try to keep advancing in with ease and. See where it goes from there. Because I'm trying to make by the end of next year close to $100,000 a year. That's my goal. If I'm at like 80, I'll be cool. You know. But that's a goal. You know, it's a goal. You know, goals aren't always meant to be, you know,
reached.
You know,
Yeah,
that's just my goal.
Sometimes,
as long as you're trying, you know, you're putting that effort in.
all
You
that
know,
matters.
and you're just bettering yourself. To potentially reach that goal, that's all that matters. Because that goal is that time I'm giving myself is just a time to give myself. It can be 5 years along down the line. If it happens in 5 years, fuck yeah, you know. If it happens next year, fuck yeah, you know. But I mean, shit, it's not anything that I'm gonna get get down on if I don't reach at the end of the next year. You know,
Okay.
it's just gonna keep going. You know. Fuck it. If I'm making 70,000 next year, fuck it. It'll be 80,000 next year, the following year,
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Keep bumping it up.
Yeah.
Just keep being better.
Yeah,
being the better
that's
you.
that's all you can be is better than you were yesterday.
Exactly. Okay.
Shit, man, this was pretty successful. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's actually going very well. Came in here a little bit more serious, just because of the environment. No, not the environment. Just person. You know, because I wanted to dig deep about who you are.
Yeah.
Those first couple of podcasts, they were definitely they were just fun. You know, didn't really dive too deep. It was just more of a comedy thing. But yeah, I want to get kind of serious about this. I want to get serious about like seeing who people really are. Because I mean, Lawrence had a fuck ton to say on Monday, and he said a lot. And
I'm sure he's got way. You could go on like 2 or 3 episodes with what Lawrence has to say.
Well, that's what we did is I set him up for other episodes. We went through his whole timeline of what he did and who he was, and then now we're just gonna elaborate on each of those things next time we come back. So you know, it's cool. It's like a plan, you know, like that. And I'm sure we'll come back here sometime.
Yeah.
Cheeks Productions coming back.
Yes, sir. Maybe we'll have a session. I didn't even fucking. That's how interesting this was. You know, I didn't even take a fucking dab out of my dabber. I got it all set up right here and everything. I didn't even fucking
take a dab, man. And maybe you'll want to talk about something. Go for it,
Let me
dude.
fire it up real quick. And don't mind the torch noise in the back.
Yeah. We're gonna edit that out. Cut that. Cut that, Damien, for later. This is a live look at Brennan taking a dab. He's got some
Cream of the crop.
cream of the crop. What strain is it?
This is cherry mints.
Can I see is there a label on there somewhere that I can read off?
No, just
the name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just wrote it.
So I got some cherry mints here, cream of the crop, batch number 210992315-1. He's about to take a fat dab right now. I'm not partaking in
Damn, I
this.
have no water in here? Fuck.
Oh, shit. He's taking a dry hit, guys. Good luck to his lungs. Oh, wow.
Fuck.
Wow. That was very interesting. Cherry mints, guys. Cream of the crop. You can only get it at Ease Dispensary, Santa Ana, California. 1625 St. Gertrude Place. Come by. See Brennan. See Damien. See Cheeks Productions.
Oh.
What's your favorite strain? What's your favorite thing you smoked so far?
my favorite all-time strain is wedding cake.
Wedding cake. Same. That's awesome.
Wedding cake, yes, sir.
You took me more of a sativa guy, though.
Well, sativa. I just recently started smoking sativa.
Are we all paranoid driving home?
Yeah, and I just recently started smoking sativas. I do like it. It's a different high. It's I use it more for gaming.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I had this.
I'm sorry.
We'll cut that out. I just got this live rosin Jack Herrera Pax pod.
Ooh.
It's fucking great, dude. That shit fucks me up. I only need like 3 hits because I'm a lightweight. I only eat 10 milligrams, and I have a good time. Brennan can down a hole in Carnies. That's 100 milligrams, by the way. Maybe even 2.
That's about anywhere from 100 to 140 on average.
On average. So that means every time he's taking something.
Yes. Yes.
This guy's a monster. I do not smoke that much. What's that? What are you pressing?
I'm turning off my dab. Right, I have it's a little thermometer to help me gauge my temperature on my dab, so I take the perfect dab every time.
Dab thermometer.
I mean, I still feel the
Take
same.
that like a fucking champ, honestly, with no water in it. Jesus Christ.
I still feel the same after taking that dab. Actually, yeah.
That's how high your tolerance is?
Oh, my fucking tolerance is stupid high. Like,
Jesus Christ, dude. So, anything else you want to cover? Ding.
I think I'm good, man.
You good?
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job today. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel accomplished.
Cool. So, this was Brennan. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me as a guest in your house, and thanks for being a guest on the podcast.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And we'll get another one soon. If it's not this one, maybe another podcast that we have on Cheeks Productions. Go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, and a follow. And then comment if you want to see, if you want to be on the podcast or even want to have any ideas about what we should do in the future. Thanks for listening, and we're signing out.
Peace out.